Hello guys, Gladiator Bricks here. I thought I'd show you me playing around with some minifigures. As you can see, I've kind of based this battle on an actual knight battle. Pretty much these are barbarian warriors, pretty much primitive warriors who pretty much got their hands on some armor plating, but they can't really go up against these much more civilized knights who have better armor and better weapons. You can see this guy is about to be killed. Of course, this guy has been killed already, and this guy's going up against this old warrior who's actually using a staff weapon. Of course, this warrior is walking into the battlefield, and he's actually kind of got better armor than everyone else. Of course, she has some pretty good armor. He, of course, is wearing animal skins. Well, this guy's wearing leather armor and is using a bow and arrow. Of course, this guy is pretty much just is just wearing a loincloth and shorter armor because he lives in poverty. A lot of them are living in horrible poverty, and they're fighting to at least get armor and better equipment. Well, these knights are pretty much coming in to steal a bunch of money and get some money. In other words, these guys have actually taxed these poor people to death. And this whole battle is based off. Anyways, I'm going to bring up some of the minifigures, give you a better look. This is actually Commander Knight, a normal commander. Of course, they all have about the same design. Let's go ahead and put him back and grab this knight right here. And this is about all the rest of them. They have the same armor. If you're wondering, that's a custom helmet. I have a lot of the custom helmets now. The armor plating, though, is actually parts that is actually a Lego part. Anyways, my favorite weapon, though, as you can see, most of them are armed with samurai swords because I thought it would be more like, this is a fantasy battle. Technically speaking, this is a fantasy battle. So, anyways, this is actually me just trying to make my own warriors in a fight. Anyways, let's go ahead and show you how big this army I made is. Let's just show the knights and show how many there are. 100%. Let's set them up in a formation for you. There you go. I call this the Tuscan attack. They're all armed with their swords. Actually, these are just knights. Now, the actual king who owns these warriors are very horrible people, though. All of them are nobles who pretty much, and as for the warriors, let's show you this warrior. This is how much in poverty some of them are. He's resorted to wearing small amounts of clothing because he can't afford better armor and better clothing. Somehow they can get their hands on swords, though. So a lot of them have blades and weapons because they stole them from actual knights. She, of course, has been a lot more lucky because her father's an ex-knight. Of course, this guy is 100% from the jungle. From the forests. He wears all leather armor and fleeced with a little bit of wood. If you look at his chest, you can see he's got a little bit of an Indian-like armor plating. Of course, this guy's a noble who actually joined the rebels. So actually, he's a noble warrior who would have been allowed to join the knight's army, but he chose to stick around with the good side, with the rebels, because they are in poverty, and he had been in poverty at least once in his life. Of course, here's an old man who is actually armed with a staff weapon because he had to improvise and he wanted to help. Of course, here's the archer. He's wearing all leather armor, which he made himself. Of course, here's the guy who was killed by the one warrior. He had only an axe. He was actually a wood chopper. That's how he made money. Anyways, the whole storyline is just the same as any other storyline. They're just trying to survive and the only way to make a point is probably to fight the whole king's army and fight till the last man. And of course, these knights are pretty much winning because they're fully armored and there's no way you're going to survive against armor. So I partly am not using fantasy standards because in fantasy armor doesn't exist, but actually in my world version of fantasy armor does exist. So all these warriors are 100% unkillable. In fact, let's go ahead and explain how good this armor really is. I mean, how good armor really compared to. Let's compare them to. Let's say I tried a swipe attack to his head. He's protected. Try jab attack. He's protected. Try slicing at his leg. He's protected. His arm. He's protected. So no matter where I go, the only kill shot would be right about here. The opening in his helmet. And that's it. Well, that's it for today, guys. Comment, subscribe, and share this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of my custom warriors. And I'll go ahead and give you guys a closer look at each of them. And my custom knights. Darth Vader himself would want these warriors on his side. Bye-bye.